Hello students, in this video lecture we will discuss about class 9th geography chapter 2, that is physical features of India. In the previous lecture we have discussed what are the important physical features of India. We have seen that there are 6 physical features are there to our country, and in the previous lecture we have also discussed about this, the great Himalayas, how they are divided vertically as well as horizontally, what is their length, and what are some of the important peaks that are found in these Himalayas. Now we will discuss about the next very important physical feature of our country, that is about this northern plains. So as you have already seen, the location of this northern plains in our country, where they are located is that just below this Shivalik range we can find this northern plains in our country. So let us discuss in detail about this northern plains. So these northern plains, how they are formed is that they are mainly formed due to 3 important rivers which are flowing in this region. They are, one is Indus, Ganga as well as Brahmaputra. If you see here, these northern plains are formed by 3 major rivers. They are Ganga, Indus as well as Brahmaputra. And very important thing is that this northern plains, it is completely covered with a very fertile soil, that is alluvial soil. Then the total area of this northern plains is almost something around 7 lakh square kilometers. That means the total area which is covered by northern plains is 7 lakh square kilometers, and the length of this northern plains, it is somewhere around this 2400 kilometers, the total length of this northern plains. Then what is the breadth or width is something around 240 to 320 kilometers. So this is the width of this northern plains, and this region is densely populated. That means the place which is covered with this northern plain, it is completely covered with this, or it is densely populated. Why it is densely populated is that because this region, as I mentioned, it is completely dominated or formed with alluvial soil which is highly fertile, and at the same time it is a plain area. Therefore most of the people, they choose to live wherever the soil is highly fertile, at the same time in the plain areas. So this is the reason why this region is highly populated, or why this region is densely populated. Then these plains are again divided into 3 different parts. That means same as like such as what is that Himalayas, how they have been divided vertically, in the similar way these northern plains are also divided into 3 different parts. They are, one is, the first one is this Punjab Plains. These Punjab Plains are mainly formed due to this Indus River, but most of these Punjab Plains at present, they are located in this Pakistan. And the next one is it is Ganga Plains, which is found between river Gagar as well as Tista. So between these 2 important rivers you can find this Ganga Plains. And almost states such as Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Haryana, these are the some of the important states which are covered on this Ganga Plains. Then the next one is about this Brahmaputra Plains. These Brahmaputra Plains are mainly in the region where this river Brahmaputra is flowing, and the states which are mainly covered under this Brahmaputra river or under this Brahmaputra Plains are this state called Assam. So again if you see, they are divided into 3 different plains: Ganga Plains, what is that, Punjab Plains, Ganga Plains as well as Brahmaputra Plains. So the next very important feature of this northern plains is that most of the people, they think that the word northern plain means almost all of this area which we call it as this northern plains. We think that it is a flat surface, but one of the very important feature of this northern plains is that there is some region in this northern plains which we call it as something known as this Barber Region or Barber Belt. Where this region is located is that this region is located just below the Shivaliks, which is covered with something known as small kind of pebble zone. We also call this region as pebble zone, and it is covering almost from 8 to 16 kilometers. That means, as you see here, this great Himalayas, lesser Himalayas as well as Shivaliks. So there are some rivers which are flowing in this Himalayas, and they will be stopping in this region known as this Barber region, or we may also call it as this pebble zone. And this pebble zone, it is almost covering from 8 to 16 kilometers. And what happens is that just below this Barber region or just below this pebble zone, again all those rivers which are stopped up to this Barber region, they will again re-emerge. That means they will again restart from this Barber region, and they'll be started flowing into different places. So again when they re-emerge, they create some region known as just below this Terai region, which we call it as this what is that, Terai region. Just below this pebble zone, we call this region as Terai region. And this Terai region, it is completely dominated with marshy lands, or we can also call them as this wetlands, or we may also call it as this swamps. And this Terai region is also covered with very thick forests. So if you can see again, Barber region means just below the Shiva lakes you see some pebble zone, which that means pebbles means you see small kind of stones, round stones, which are covering almost from 8 to 16 kilometers. So this 8 to 16 kilometers, we call that zone as Barber belt, or we may also call it as this pebble zone. And again just below this pebble zone, what happens is that again all those rivers, they'll be re-emerging, and what they'll create is that they'll create a region known as this Terai region, which is dominated with marshy, wet or swamp regions, or we can also call we can also see some of the thick forest in this region. Then the next very important feature is that the largest part of this northern plains is formed by older alluvium. That means, as I just mentioned about this what is that, northern plains are mostly covered with this alluvial soil. But again this alluvial soil is further again it is divided into two different types. One is Bangar and the second one is this Khadar. And most of the northern plains, this northern plains, it is mostly dominated, or it is mostly covered with this older alluvium, or we may also call it as this Bangar. And this Bangar is rich in something known as calcareous deposits, which we may also call it as this Kankar. That means this older alluvium, it consists calcium carbonates, which we may also call it as this Kankar. And this Bangar you can find far away from this river areas, or you can say far away from this river banks. So the whatever the soil which is found far away from the rivers, we may call it as this Bangar, or sometimes we may also call it as this what is that, older alluvium soil. And the new alluvium soil means, new alluvial soil means the soil which is found very close to these rivers or on the either sides of these river banks. And this Khadar, it contains less calcium carbonate, or we may also call it as this less amount of Kankar. But which is more fertile is that this Khadar is more fertile compared to this Bangar. So these are some of the some of the soils which are present in this alluvial soil which is dominated in this northern plains. So this is about this northern plains which are lying just below this Himalayas.